In the last 10 days, leaders across 4 countries faced the same crisis. Not a financial crisis, not a military crisis, not a climate crisis, a trust crisis. And every single one of them had no playbook for it. Let me show you what I mean.
This guy just quit the British government. He's Wes Streeting, the man who was running the UK's entire healthcare system. And his resignation is a big problem for Prime Minister Kier Starmer. Streeting didn't just leave, he said he'd lost confidence in Starmer's leadership.
Kier Starmer does have to go. He's lost the confidence of the country. He's lost the trust of the country.
Story number 1. May 7th, United Kingdom. Kier Starmer had won the biggest Labour majority in decades. 411 seats, a landslide. The country was ready for change. Less than 2 years later, he lost the trust and confidence of the public, says a junior minister who resigned. Labour lost over 1400 council seats in a single night. Ministers began resigning. 80 MPs called for him to go, not because of one scandal, but because of a pattern. Cancel promises, U-turn, small moments of inconsistency that compounded silently until the public simply stopped believing. The leadership insight in this story. Trust does not collapse, it erodes slowly, quietly, through 100 small moments that nobody notices individually, until one day everything collapses at once. Starmer's story is not a political story, it's a leadership story. And it happens in organizations every single day. Story number 2, May 12, Washington DC, a Senate defense hearing.
I don't trust Pakistan as far as I can throw them. If they actually do have Iranian aircraft parked in Pakistan bases to protect Iranian military assets, that tells me we should be looking maybe for somebody else to mediate.
US Senator Lindsey Graham, a close ally of President Trump, was questioning the Defense Secretary about Pakistan's role as a peace mediator. And then, on camera, in a room full of generals and officials, he said, "I don't trust Pakistan." No diplomacy, no hedging, no nuance. Pakistan had been playing both sides, privately allowing Iranian military aircraft to shelter on its airfield, while publicly positioning itself as a neutral broker. And the moment was exposed. The trust was gone instantly, irretrievably, publicly. The leadership insight in this story. You can lose trust that took years to build in a single act of inconsistency between what you say and what you do. Graham did not question Pakistan's capability. He questions its integrity. And that is completely different kind of loss. Because integrity, once doubted, cannot be argued back into existence. Story number 3.
Nothing from China allowed on the plane, sir. That was the message the US staff enforced on Donald Trump as he was returning back to US from China. What is from China stays in China. And this viral image depicts this line quite well. Trump and his team were seen throwing their ID cards, pins, cell phones into a bin.
Beijing International Airport, May the 15th. President Trump has just finished what he called, and I'm quoting, 12 out of 10 summit with President Xi. Handshakes, state banquets, ancient gardens, tea, and then, before boarding Air Force One, a bin was placed at the foot of the stairs. And every single member of US delegation dropped into it every gift, every badge, every souvenir, every item that they received from Chinese host. "Nothing from China allowed on the plane, sir," said a White House pool reporter, Emily Goodin. Burner phones surrendered, credential badges discarded, even lapel pins that had been worn all weekend into the bin. A 12 out of 10 summit. And yet, at the door of the plane, not a single object from that country was trusted enough to be brought home. The leadership insight in this story. You can shake someone's hand and still not trust them. You can have a productive meeting, deliver shared result, say all the right things, and the underlying trust can still be zero. In leadership, this is what David Meister and Charles Green call high self-orientation. You engage, you collaborate, you smile, but fundamental question, whose interests are really being served here, has not been answered. And everyone in the room knows it. Story number 4.
You ask me a question, please. This is my press conference. You ask, why should a country trust India? Why should a country trust India? Why should a country trust India?
May 19. And then, just day before yesterday, Oslo, Norway, India's Ministry of External Affairs conducted a press briefing. A Norwegian journalist raises her hand and asks, why should we trust India? One question to a civilization 5,000 years old, to a nation with 1.4 billion people, to a democracy with a free press. One question, and the room changed. The spokesperson pushed back, firmly, brilliantly, pointing to India's diverse media landscape, its constitutional freedom, its democratic institutions, and so on. But the question had already landed, because trust, once questioned in public, must be defended in public. And defending trust is always harder than building it. Leadership insight in this story. The moment someone asks, why should I trust you? You have already lost the first round. Because the question itself signals that your reputation has not done the work for you. In leadership, this is the point of reckoning. And the only honest answer is not an argument. It is a track record of consistent, visible, accountable behavior over time. 10 days, 4 countries, 4 leaders, 4 different situations, and one word at the center of every single one of them. Not oil, not borders, not budget, not technology, trust. The one thing that makes everything else possible or impossible. Now, I want you to come out of these headlines and come into your world. Because these are not stories about governments and nations. These are stories about what happens when people stop trusting each other. And that happens in boardroom, in team meetings, inboxes, in performance review, in corridors, every single day. Think about it. Is there a Starmer moment in your team right now? A slow, invisible erosion that nobody has named yet. Is there a Pakistan dynamic in your organization where someone is saying one thing in the meeting and doing another outside it? Is there an Air Force One moment in your culture where collaboration looks great on the surface, but the real trust is zero? And is someone right now silently asking you, why should I trust you? And what would your answer be? These are the questions I explore in the next episode of Are You a Quantified Leader? Episode T, Trust, the leadership multiplier. We will explore trust equation, the precise formula that tells you exactly where trust is breaking down in any relationship, in any direction. We will explore the neuroscience, why trust forms or fails in 0.07 seconds before a single word is spoken. We will look at what it takes to build trust across remote teams, hybrid teams, and multicultural organizations. And we will walk through a 6-step framework for rebuilding trust when it has already been broken. Because in leadership, broken trust is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of the real one. If anything in the last few minutes resonated with you and made you think about your own leadership journey, then you are in the right place. See you in the next episode. Subscribe, share, and like if you think more of these messages would interest you. Cheers. Episode T drops soon.